Howdy, my name is Devin Sarna, and in today's speech, I will be going over the topic of mental health for college students. And the three main points I will be going over today is one, some statistics of students reaching out for help for depression and anxiety, and how many of them aren't able to receive that aid. Two, on an action plan that will ultimately help the students be able to get that aid and not feel stressed or binded by money wise and financial wise. And three, of how this this action plan will ultimately help again the students at the universities, and how it should be implemented and be brought up to the boards of the universities and show them the proof on how it will ultimately allow for easier mental health awareness around the university. Um, the reason why I personally chose this topic is because I'm currently at a university, at Texas A&M University, and while I've been in university at this university and my former university, over those 3 years that I have been at the university, I have seen a lot of versions of people who have been at their highest and lowest, and many of those reasons are because of challenges we face as being a college student. And while those challenges might not, to a regular person, might not be that challenging, to us it is very challenging, especially when it comes to our academics. No matter the class level or whatever level the class is at, every single course demands a certain part, demands a higher performance from the student, and that adds a lot of anxiety, which then weighs even more and then leads on to depression. And because of that, a landmark study that was published in 2023, stated that 43% of students actually reported depression, while 60% also felt a high amounts of anxiety in the past year at the time of 2023. And with that stat, we can see how the students are facing those challenges and are feeling the repercussions of it because of how much we have to really give ourselves to the classes and the work. And because of that, we reach out for that help. But ultimately, in another study that is called Healthy Minds, the Healthy Minds study that was published in 2023 as well, more than half of those students took a relinquished their statement of being depressed, mainly for the reasons of financial, and also the stigma of depression, and how that stigma is seen in a very negative light, which is in some ways true, because depression is very worrisome and very negative, but also it can be helped, it can be treated in many ways. And one of those big ways is therapy for the students. And uh, and here at Texas A&M University, I am glad to say that we have great sources for aid for that type of thing. But in many other universities around the country, that cannot be said for them. And one of the action plans that I came up with is for CAPS, and CAPS stands for Counseling and Psychological Services. And what I propose was they should implement a more they should adopt an evidence based stepped care model to and another thing is to increase the funding for staff and integrate digital therapy tools, and also implement health trainings for the faculty, especially since many of the faculty are very, I guess you can say they're more, they are very much older than many of the students at the university. At their time, depression was very different than how it is nowadays. So with all those ideas of things they can do to help, the reason why these things will help is because um, it will help um, it will help the students, especially who do not want to come in person, to have those sessions. It will help do students do remote sessions, and with that, uh, that's why I implemented more funding for for those specific services, so that students don't have to feel very obligated to come in person while and state how why they feel depressed and have that anxiety, because many students, like I said, have that stigma, that depression and anxiety in a very negative light. So adding that portal between and through technology, it will ultimately help them. And in another study, the study is called "Article: Increased Rates of Mental Health Service Utilization by U.S. College Students," which was published in 2018 by Daniel Eisenberg, say that 26% of of students that seek help for mental health, um, honest don't fully go into that, don't fully immerse themselves into the therapy and try to help themselves. And with that, 26%, only, like I said, only 18% actually go and seek that help. And like I said before, the solution I came up with is a 5-part plan, basically designed to overhaul the current fading model that the fading model that many universities have today. And the evidence on why this is important is because students need this help, and without this help, it will cause many students, in many cases, to actually leave the universities. And we can ultimately transform a system of failure into a network of support for these students, especially going through these hard times and going through their lives as a college student. That will be it for me. Thank you for listening, and thanks, and giggle.